returns from tourist revenues more evenly between the stakeholders in the Delta. But tourism's infrastructure and activity also has a negative impact on the environment. ODMP has introduced limits of acceptable change. This means that areas can be monitored to prevent unacceptable deterioration. Poor sanitation and waste management by some of the tourist camps and houseboats poses a significant threat to the environment.
Groundwater moves very freely. So if I was disposing of liquid waste directly into the soil, the poisons therein, the E. coli and the water, will travel sideways very quickly and then mix with the groundwater here, or for that matter, with the delta waters. The groundwater is going to be used by plants. It potentially can get into nearby waterways, which can cause eutrophication. It can, of course, then get into food streams, into animals and birds, amphibians, reptiles. We don't want any of that. This is a pristine environment, one of the most pristine delta systems on Earth.
Okavango Wilderness Safaris have piloted a solution for their wastewater management, whilst ODMP and Okavango are developing 4 pilot sites for low-cost systems. They use locally available plants and soils in an engineered environment.
The Okavango Delta Management Plan has a number of pilot sites where they will be able to demonstrate those plants at work. So between various partners, ourselves and the government, there's definitely a very strong move towards plants that don't mix wastewater with groundwater.
In order to be effective, these projects and efforts must be communicated to all stakeholders so that they can plan and work together. In particular, government departments which do not operate as a single unit can work together more closely for the good of the Delta with the facilitation of the ODMP.
All along, planning has not been integrated. Different sectors have planned for resources within the system independently. So this planning process has now helped to facilitate an integrated way of planning for development, where each sector relates to the activities of the other sectors, so that at the end we get a coherent, integrated and comprehensive plan.
We have lots of competing interests within the Okavango Delta. And here I'm looking at the Fisheries Association, I'm looking at the local communities, I'm looking at the community-based organizations, I'm looking at tour operators and many other institutions that basically are intending to optimize the potential within the Okavango Delta. Now, one most important thing, as you may have noticed, is that through the ODMP process, we've been able to put all these competing interests together such that in the final analysis, we begin to carve some kind of a common niche, such that we have all important stakeholders interested and affected parties working together to go towards one common objective, and that is to save the integrity and the pristine nature of the Okavango.
The Delta is an international asset of biodiversity and beauty, and being the #1 tourism destination in Botswana, is one of the biggest income generators after diamonds. If tourism is developed in a controlled way, it can benefit local communities and preserve nature. However, developing the Delta sustainably and equitably for its different users and their needs is going to be an important task for the Okavango Delta Management Plan. The challenge will be to transform the plans laid out on paper into reality and make a difference on the ground. For that to happen, all who work with the plan must make a commitment to take responsibility for their part. Everyone from high to low will have an important part to play in continuing the integration with other sectors, which started during the planning phase and must continue as the plan is implemented. As the lessons learned by the ODMP bear fruit, the experiences can be shared with other similar projects in the region beyond.
nje kurukuro na kurura mwanange tukavete kumeyu mwanange nekurwarewa tangoni rure rwarewa rware retu nakurumbera kumona rware rwedu au tango twende kurwarewa tango ewa